welcome to Bears Banter tonight. My name is Bernard Muhammad. On the broadcast tonight, we have Guy Moore. What's up, Guy? All right. Hey, we also got Keith Floyd, known as Plank. What's up, Plank?
What's up, bro?
Hey, man, I heard you got sacked at the house a few times too, huh?
I did. I went to the front doors about, Davis came in, 6 dudes came in right behind him, sacked me, man.
Hey, Nate Davis' job tonight was just to help Caleb Williams up.
Yeah, he missed that a couple times too. Man, Caleb Williams got sacked 7 times tonight, man.
7 times. So he was hit. I would say he was hit about 14 times. Probably pressured about 18 times. I would guess. I haven't looked at the official stacks on the pressures and hits.
It looks like his passing was 23 for 37 for 174.
Okay.
But he gave up the 2 picks and those 7 sacks. Man, he had nothing, man. It looked like we were going right back to Luke Getsy. For whatever reason, Shane Waldron just immediately morphed into trying to do screens, and that's really hard to throw a screen when you're not, giving any kind of offensive line play, and it's even harder when the screens that you're coming is coming on the outside, and you got Daniil Hunter on one side and Will Anderson Jr. on the other side. They already there, man. So I think that was a terrible plan that we tried to execute, and I think that cost us today.
You mean Will Anderson don't play for us? It's like he was on the other side the whole time. I've come to a conclusion. Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins got daddy issues. I ain't even got nothing funny to say, man. It was horrible. Will Anderson had a career night against us. It seemed like out of all the plays that we had with the quarterback pressures, and I'm not just talking about the sacks. I'm talking about when their defense was able to get back into our backfield. He was always back there. So you might as well say he played for us.
Okay. Yeah, hey, the Bears fall 19-13 to the Texans tonight. This was a rough game, and this was one of those welcome to the NFL moments for Caleb Williams. He toughed it out tonight. I mean, I know some people are going to be harping on the 2 interceptions. You know what? That was trying to give your team a chance. Yeah, those were kind of like punts. I agree. He had a pretty good first half. Coming out of halftime, it was a little rough. But if you look at this game, if they could just get the blocking together, I could truly say this is a bad offensive line this year. It looks like the 2021 season's the 2022 season's line, where they were just giving up a lot of sacks and stuff like that because they can't even run right now. I mean, they're having a hard time running the ball as well. I see Jay's coming on.
I'll tell you what the biggest play of the game was for me, okay? It's when the Bears ended up trying to run the ball. They running back, I think it was Caleb ran over there. The guy hit on the Bears sideline. And, the Bears, all jumped up or whatever. One of the guys from Houston stole on Roshan Johnson, just straight cold cocked him on the Bears sideline. And all the Bears looked at him like, oh, that was odd. As soon as that happened, I said, we don't have no chance of winning this game. So they didn't want to stand up and fight. You got a guy sitting on the sideline that ain't even played, get stole on and just say, oh, okay, that's going to be the end of it. The game wasn't going to get much better than that as far as I was.
What you got, Jay?
Appreciate was bad. What's up, Jay?
Too many. What's up, y'all? Too many missed opportunities, man. Too many missed opportunities.
We thought you was in Texas, man. You came back quick.
Hey, I actually was upstairs nodding off. I was falling asleep. But yeah, too many missed opportunities, man. Too many penalties. They had so many penalties. A lot of pre-snap penalties on the offense. It's gonna take them a minute to get in sync. They showed a little light on offense today, but too many pre-snap penalties, and they, we knew we penciled this one in as a loss, quote unquote. We penciled this one in as a loss. Looking at the schedule, but we was kind of feeling good this week, and I was actually still feeling pretty good, even in the fourth quarter, because the Bears defense, they kept us in the game. They kept us in the game, but it's gonna take a minute for our offense to to hit their stride.
Yeah, I agree, Jay. When you break down what happened in this game, your defense giving you a shot when you only gave up one touchdown. You gave up one touchdown and 4 field goals. So that's why at the end of the game, you still have a shot in this game because you only gave up one touchdown. But what you can't have, like that's why I mentioned the 2022 season. That was a season where they had all these false start penalties all the time, kind of setting them behind the chain. Because even on the last drive, you make a good play, then the next play you got a false start, right? Now you're first and 20 or whatever it was. You can't do that. And you know what? And in this case, I'm not gonna say the false stars were like in 2022. Some of those false stars were lack of discipline. These false stars are because guys know they're about to get beat. So they're just jumping because they're about to get beat.
You see what Mercedes Lewis did? He turned around. I want to see. He was like, huh? And it's like, beep. It was just one of them nights, man. It's and I must be remiss to say this, man. I don't want to hear nothing about we should have kept this quarterback. We should have did this. Everybody across the board, I would give the defense just a little bit of slack because it should have been a lot worse than it was, But I don't want to hear nobody about who would have, should have, could have been a quarterback and all this other stuff. Everybody on offense, and especially like the offensive coordinators, not making adjustments. Like I said, you got 5 guys on the line, you got 8 dudes out in the box, but you got no type of protection, so you're getting your quarterback killed. It's just one of them games, man. You can't even be mad. And my boys, Cali, Mr. Shannon Callahan, my Arabic noble brother, who's a Green Bay Packer fan, was killing us all night. And the sad part about it is when you go into a gunfight with a dude and you ain't got no bullets. All I could do was just like.
Well, I'll tell you what, my synopsis, my overview of the game was today. Offensively, we don't have an identity. We kept trying to run the ball. DeAndre Swift got the ball. We got 14 carries for 18 yards. So overall, you're looking at somebody that's averaging less than a little over a yard and a half or so per carry. Defensively, we actually had a pretty good game, but I still expect defense to come up and get some more turnovers. They actually get a fumble recovery. Hats off to Tremaine Edwards. We've been giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
He got 11 tackles.
8 solos.
Kevin Byard got 11 tackles.
7 solos.
Pritzker both showed up with 8 tackles. So defensively, we tried to bring the funk. We got 3 sacks. But offensively, the whole team seems to be a little bit out of sync. So I don't know. I'm going to have to pass that over to Jay and see what his diagnosis is going to be because I got nothing.
Well, like I said, it's just gonna take a minute for the offense to get cooking. I hate to beat a broken. I hate to beat the broken horse, but I told y'all this year it's gonna be about play caller, protection, and playmaker. The play calling has not been there. I text y'all during the game. I'm like, okay, this play calling is horrible. And to your point, Keith. We need to find our identity. We don't have an identity on offense. Because the thing about it is, if you're going to run the ball. Don't run the ball and then get away from the run, throw the ball 10 times, and then run it again. If you're going to establish the running, you need to run the football. And we don't have an offensive identity right now, as you said. And it's going to be tough. But, it'll get better. It'll get better. I'm still not panicking. It's game 2. My baby brother just texted me. He's like, I told you Caleb won all that. Bro, I ain't trying to hear that, man. I'm not trying to hear that, man. Come on. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. And the bottom line is, like y'all said, the defense kept us in the game. Had we scored on that last possession and won this game 20-19, who would have said anything? You know what I'm saying? So cut it out, y'all. Cut it out.
Yeah, Jay, we have to when we run, we don't have any identity when we do run. Now, I know the run blocking hasn't been well at all. It has been pretty terrible, but you doing stuff like what you did at the beginning of the game. You go into a formation, almost look like the 1970 wishbone formation, but they did it maybe 2 or 3 times, but they never ran out of that formation. They only just passed out of that formation. I'm thinking you getting in that formation because you're about to do some power running. Okay,
right.
The Bears gonna have to. I don't know what the issue is with Khalil Herbert. I don't know what the issue is with him. Right, they only bring him in the game when they're trying to get 1 yard. You may have to put him and Johnson in when you're having a hard time running to bring your fullback in. Come in, then bring in 2 tight ends and try to power run the ball. What they're still trying to do is run on the edges too much, and they're not getting nowhere running on the edges. They may break one through there, but run up the middle. Matter of fact, I think one of the best runs this evening might have been one they ran it up the middle.
Yeah.
Right. I think the problem right now is, offensively, again, we don't have an identity. DeAndre Swift is not a back that's going to get the ball, get a lot of yards between the tackles. So you almost have to, put him in different situations. And the offensive line is hard to establish an identity when you're starting out 1st and 20, 1st and 15, when you're getting those penalties and what have you. So we have to clean that up first and foremost. And then from there, maybe we can establish something going forward from an offensive standpoint. But that was the sloppiest game I've seen on a Sunday night in years. I think it was over 20 penalties.
I was gonna say I think it was a total of 21 or 22 penalties in the game for both teams. So the bottom line is this, y'all. We knew going into this game that this was gonna be a tough game for the Bears on the road on Sunday night. But the bottom line is this is nothing to fret over. The Bears lost this game 19 to 16? What was the final score? 19 to 13 was the final score. Get over it, y'all. Bears Nation, not y'all. I'm just saying Bears Nation. Because my phone is literally like blowing up like, the Bears, cut it out, man. Cut it out.
You're right, though. They don't have an offensive identity. It's almost like what I did was I just kind of sort of charted like the first 32 plays, and I'll just go through it. Pass, run, pass, run, pass, run, sack, run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's no type of system. It's almost like they sitting up in a room and taking like the little sticky little balls and throwing them up against the board and say, we're going to do that. Because I wanted to initially just like kind of chart the first 15 plays and see what they do. And by halftime, he'd already thrown like 16 passes. But as I was saying, and we've always said with the Bears and stuff, with the rookie year, he made rookie mistakes. But give the guy some grace. One, he had to try to save his life for the most part because our line wasn't holding up. And number 2, I still got my theory on the 40-game theory. It's like around the 40th game, you'll see what you got. I think he does have the tools to be a great quarterback, but if we keep doing this with this offensive line, we might not have a chance to see him be great in 40 games. He might be dead.
Hey, guy, you know what? I'm not even going to entertain that because with all our previous quarterbacks, regardless of what I said about them, once they got over 30 games, I gave them 30 games before I started criticizing them. So, I may criticize something I might see here and there, but I gave all of them a 30-game grace before I start saying anything negative about them, those quarterbacks. So I'm going to do the same here. But the play calling has to get better. Talib, matter of fact, Talib, thanks for those stats. You said Roshan didn't get a carry. And Khalil Herbert had 2. Amir, thanks for tuning in. Thank everybody who's tuned in to Bears Banter Tonight talk show. The thing I'm seeing is they don't know who they want to go to. And Talib made a post earlier this week that they may have too many weapons right now. Which could be the case that they don't know what they want to do, but they gotta find some isolation. Guy said, look for commit. You gotta start looking for commit and DJ. It's too many series go by when DJ Moore is not even involved in the offense. Right. You know, you have a whole lot and tonight, other than early on, I forget the number 11 name, he was the only one. He was keeping them in the game earlier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you know, it's another thing too. I was listening. One of the guys up at the Temple was like, when they got the interception with DJ Moore. Oh, you supposed to stop the guy? I'm like, DJ Moore, like 5'6". No, I know he's not that short. But the corner was way bigger than him, and it was like it really wasn't much he could do without a penalty. Because if you see the interception, the guy's up here, DJ Moore is way down here, and it's just the ball was just thrown back. I mean, we just have to understand that. This is a virtually different team with like the major components. It's going to take time, but just like you guys were saying, we may have too many weapons. I mean, there's no such thing, but the thing is we have too many weapons and we think too much about what we're going to do as opposed to just having a system. Get Komet in there, have him sit up there. They wasn't trying to really run nothing exotic on us because linebackers are coming in, killing us. Guys are coming in making great tackles. They're stopping us for losses. As you see, Swift, 14, like 17 yards or something like that. So we have to just be at the point where, like as Quick say, trust the process. They're going to stop you, whatever. Run the ball. Get some type of system in there where we can move the ball instead of some of this Ringling Brothers flying, Barnum and Bailey circus stuff that we got.
And I'm just going to say, I kind of agree with Talib when he say, we might have too many weapons. I don't believe in you'll have too many weapons. I don't, as an offense, I don't believe in that. But what you have to do is, as Plank said, establish the identity.
Yeah.
Last week, the Bears had 4 running backs to carry the ball. That's unheard of in the NFL. You know, most of the time you got two guys. Oh, excuse me. And then you might have a third down specialist that might come in. But you got to establish the identity. And Shane Waldron has not put a stamp on this offense to say, like, okay, this is what we do. These are the players. This is the personnel that we're going to use, and we're going to do it that way. So, like I said, again, you know, game 2, it's going to be all right, y'all. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, Jay, and when I say that, I don't mean like too many weapons, like they need to get rid of somebody. I'm saying too many weapons, like what you just gave an example. You're trying to play too many people, right? You're trying to play 4 running backs, right? That's not necessary.
Everybody can't eat
4 running backs. Like say
everybody can't eat at the table. Everybody can't eat at the table.
Correct.
You gotta have somebody at the grown folks table, and you gotta have somebody at the kids table. Everybody can't eat at the table. You know what I mean?
And with Nate Davis and Tevin Jenkins, they gonna eat up all the food anyway.
Yeah, I think the main point, just getting back to this identity thing, is I think Shane Waldron hasn't identified who on his team does what. He hasn't identified the skill set. He's saying, okay, we got Jay out there and Bernard out there. We're going to put Jay in the backfield and let him carry the rock 65 times, and we're going to put Bernard at tight end. You're like, wait, they can play whatever position you put them at, but it's much better if you put Jay at a wide out and put Bernard in the backfield. Oh, really? That's what they do? If you haven't identified that, and we've already been through all these training camps and TV shows and all of that stuff, he might need some time off to just kind of figure out what is it that I want to do? What is it I want to implement? I think he's a decent coach, but, you know, again, he's a rookie as far as this team is. And this is the first time he's worked with a rookie quarterback as well. So he's got a lot of hurdles to overcome as well.
Yeah, you got it's like on first down. I wasn't sure what they wanted to do, but it didn't help if you shoot yourself in the foot with a penalty on first either, right? That set you behind the chain. But you got to establish something offensively that, you know, work for them. I do think when they get to the red zone, they tense up. I think I'm seeing a little tense up where they kind of like almost seem like let's just make sure we get a field goal, right? And I'm for one that get these early mistakes out of your quarterback because he learned on some of the stuff. And also, I think just those couple of those plays I can't really say they were bad throws. I want to say those were like the quarterback and the receiver just wasn't on the same page.
Right.
I think like on that one interception to DJ, he had overshot the players. So I think what he did was took some off and just tried to underthrow him some, right? Because based off where it was at. But this was one where he needed to kind of overshoot him some, right? But I think he was just trying to undershoot him. And then the thing with Rome, I think that was just one of those things where he saw how the guy was bailing out on Rome on that last offensive play, and he just thought Rome was just going to break to the sideline because traditionally that's what a receiver does. When the guy's bailing out like that, and you already got the first, there's no reason to keep coming up the field. You break into the outside. But, that's something Rome going to learn because, matter of fact, I want to say even in the championship game, there's a few times when he was playing for Washington in that game when he was getting beat up by Michigan where it was some routes where I was like, he should have been breaking and bringing that route back, but he did not. But you got Jay.
No, I'm just totally agreeing with you. It's gonna be some growing pains, man. It's gonna be some growing pains. We missed Kenyon Allen tonight. I think Kenyon Allen would have been a big help because they were able to get a lot of stuff underneath.
Yep.
And I think Kenyon Allen would have been a big weapon as far as that goes. But it's going to be some growing pains. And like you say, this is Waldron's first time working with a rookie quarterback, and it's just going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I'm thoroughly impressed. I was listening to national media over the weekend prior to the game, and they was talking about the Bears going to get blew out, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be a rout. And, the Bears defense kept them in this game. And we was one possession from winning this game. Even with the lack of offense that we had. So, it's going to take some time. And I'll just tell everybody, I'll just text, relax. It's going to be okay.
But you know what? An established team, a great team, a team that's actually established, that's got some legs under them, probably would have won that game because they gave us all the opportunities. We just couldn't capitalize. But another thing I want to stress, and I don't want to hear nothing about no doggone referees because I looked on both sides of the ball. Now, I keep it a buck. That hit on Knemet, that was in his shoulder pass. It was almost like, well, we missed the zero guy, so we're going to call this. So, but as I've always said throughout the years, don't even put the refs in the situation. If you're playing good, you're playing well enough, a call like that don't hurt you. And it just seemed like we were talking when that happened. It's like, oh, they're getting charged up. And then they came back on offense, and it was like.
Hey, one thing I tell you. First of all, I'm actually encouraged by Caleb Williams' play today.
I am too.
He was able to see his receivers. He took the correct drops. He worried about his feet. He was able to escape in a pocket a number of times. So he did a lot of things that you would expect from a more seasoned quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, as much as everybody gave him all this flack last week, 93 yards or whatever, I looked around the entire NFL. It looks pretty consistent with most quarterback play from last week. And this week, they seem to be all, elevating a little bit better as well. So Caleb Williams, he took some lumps. He took some sacks, but I think that's going to help him learn going forward as well. So, I think this is a good experience for him, strangely enough, in the loss. And I think what usually happens is the same thing I've been saying. Usually with rookie quarterbacks, you need to, let them get through at least the first 4 or 5 games before they even figure out the speed of the NFL and what they're supposed to be trying to do. Mm-hmm. So let's give him that opportunity to do that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody panicking. I'm like, man, this dude played 2 games in the NFL.
Right.
I'm like, man, calm down. It's not that serious. It's not that serious.
Hey, Jay, I'll say this: if their only offense in the first half was Caleb Williams, that was it. They could not run the ball in the first half at all. Caleb was their only offense in the first half. He took them down the field eventually, and he didn't get the touchdown, but they got a touchdown. So what I do want to see them do more to them, they got to be able to establish they can hit that one deep ball like I mentioned in the pregame,
Yeah.
that he's going to keep seeing 5 and 6 man fronts, which makes it hard to run too until the Bears prove they can hit something deep. So I don't know if he got to start the game off and do a max protect and just throw something up the sideline, even if you overshoot it, just to let them know, hey, because you may get a pass interference out, you may get a cheap pass interference out of it, but somehow you got to be able to hit one of those deep balls to move those guys back. But I know we're kind of beating the dead horse, but offensively, I still don't know what Shane Waldron is trying to do when he's calling plays. Right now, the 2 games he's called, it hasn't really made a lot of sense of what he's trying to do. I don't know what he's trying to do.
I'll tell you what, Bernard, on some of those offensive plays, Keenan Allen makes all the difference because he's a receiver, and he's deceptively quick, not necessarily fast anymore, but he ends up giving you an out and up as a DB.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, I got this. The next thing you know, he didn't turn it up, and he's 20 yards down the field. Also, they got to find a spot somewhere, either find out if this guy can play or not. I'm talking about Scott, the second guy. He can take the top off of defense. And if nothing else, you at least got the threat of somebody that's really got some speed that, may loosen up the defense a little bit for you. All in all, man, second game, I'm okay with this.
Right.
What you got?
No, I'm totally agree with you, Keith, because like I said last week, that's why last week's game was so crucial that you win that game. Because if you lose that game last week and you lose this week, now you 0-2.
2, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you win that you win last week and you lose this week, you 1-1. It's week 2. How many teams that we looking at that stare at 0-2? Baltimore Ravens are what?
0-2.
It's 1 teams in our division. So there you go.
Right. And to your point about Tyler Scott, how many snaps did he have tonight? Vegas was inactive tonight.
I don't think he played.
I would have expected Tyler Scott to at least see some action. I know I saw him on the field. I don't know how many targets he had. I did see him on the field.
You saw him on the field?
I did see him on the field. Yeah, I saw him on the field. But how many targets did he have?
Did he have water with him, or was he carrying bags? I'm just trying to figure out.
So, as far as registering a stat, DJ Moore was targeted 10 times, 6 receptions, 53 yards. Adunze targeted 5 times, 2 receptions, 33 yards. Carter, 4 targets, 32. Komet, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 27. Swift, 5, 4 receptions, 24. Herbert, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 4 yards. And Everett, 3 targets, 2 receptions, and he got 1 yard because he lost some yards on one play.
Yeah.
And, hey, Cole Kmet still ends up being the key in my opinion. You got to get that guy involved.
Yeah.
One of the things about Cole Kmet is he hardly ever drops the ball when you throw it to him. He may not get 4 or 5 yards clearance, but when he gets his hands anywhere near the ball, it's a catch. So we got to take advantage of that.
And you just mentioned that, Bernard. You see all those targets and all those catches, but the yardage it's not there yet. It's not there. So he's spreading the ball around. He's spreading the ball around, and it's gonna happen. Okay, 23 or 37, 174. Oh wow, 7 sacks. I didn't realize he got sacked 7 times. But that's a reflection of the offensive line, though.
Receptions were basically punts. So, that's one of those things where the stats will fool you a lot of times, and you're looking at it. If they're down already down there, they're 3rd and 17, and he ended up throwing that first pick, and it was 25 yards down the field. I'm like, that doesn't kill.
It was basically a short punt.
Right.
It's basically a short punt.
I'll take that. But, sometimes you get to looking at the stats, and that doesn't really tell you a whole lot about the ebb and flow in the game.
Right.
So,
Right. Because the only thing he has to realize, I would say, the only thing I will point out is that second interception, and not so much because it was an interception. Those are the plays when you do got to just go and throw it away. if you can, because that was just really going to be a difficult throw, and you're trying to squeeze it on the sideline. I want to say to your tight end, and it is a jump ball with a guy underneath him and a guy over top, right?
Right.
Yeah, and you rolling into it, right? You running towards the line, so that's a hard throw. That's the one he almost got sacked, and you almost just like, hey, dude, just go ahead, either tuck it and run it, or you just go and throw it away. I know it was getting late in the game, but you know what? I want my quarterback to still be aggressive. I want him to feel comfortable he can make them plays, and I know as this developed, the Bears may have to let him be himself a little bit more, because you can't just have him being no statue in there. They not. I mean, let's go down what we saw. I know they was getting pressure off the edge, but you got to run some misdirection, right? You're not running no misdirections. You're not running no naked boots, right? Where you boot out, you roll into your left first, and then you boot out to your right, because you're trying to, because they so aggressive, you want to get them flowing one way, and you start taking advantage of that. So they was not doing any type of misdirection. They're trying with aggressive defense. One of the things you could use for them is misdirection. Screens ain't gonna work for them because they too good on the outside. But what's open for you is in the middle of the field and misdirection. And Shane Waldron will have to look at that and start using that to his advantage. Because if not, you're gonna have these type of games. But in the Bears' favor is you're not gonna have a quarterback that's too many times that could throw like that on a run. CJ was killing it when it turned like he should be sacked, and he was man.
But he's an anomaly though, because he's 1-1. I'm gonna read some stats real quick. I know a player that played 16 games, 56.7% connection rate, 3,700 yards, 233 yards a game, 26 TDs, 28 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 71.2 as a rookie. That player was Peyton Manning. This is what we're trying to say about rookies. I think people play too many video games and just think because they know what the controllers are and they put on rookie mode. Oh, my Caleb Williams on here, he got 4,000 touchdowns and he ain't got no picks. But you look at the establishment, look at the system that he was in and how great the team was. And as great as he was, now you bring him to the pros. The best player in your squad might be as good, if not worse, than the worst player you're going to see on defense. That much faster. This game is so much faster. People don't get it. If you look at the quarterback, CJ Stroud was just some guy that just has it. Not many kids come in with that. People keep using all these different metaphors and all this stuff. Well, I woulda, coulda, shoulda. I'm like, dude, you got to realize this kid is a great quarterback, but he's in the league right now, and he's got an offensive line that isn't doing what they're supposed to do. You got an offensive coordinator really hasn't established an identity. You got an offensive line that's missing blocking assignments, which is I saw Tevin Jenkins, man, 51, what's his name, came straight through on a blitz. He's sitting right there. All he did was this, and I'm like, so with all this stuff going on. And you look at Caleb getting sacked. You look at Caleb throwing balls away. It's like you put a helmet on and put you some pink fingernail polish on and get out there and see what happens.
Tevin Jenkins is in a contract year. He got a little bit too much stuff on his mind. He's going to have to just go ahead and ball out. Nate Davis, it looks like we just stuck with that guy. And I'm specifically watching him, and man, this is the most garbage guy I have seen out there in a while. And it's not somebody who lacks talent. There's guys out there that aren't as talented, but they're gonna be out there gritty. Even Mustapher was out there trying. He just didn't have the physical capability. This is not Nate Davis' problem. He's somebody that's just kind of a head case, and it's harder for me to excuse him.
Yeah, we can't excuse it because look at the slowest guy on your squad on defense who don't get as much time, got a sack today. Jack Sanborn, there it is right there. And in a way, and it's no disrespect to him, as far as our linebackers, he's the slowest. He's not as good as the rest of them. But for some reason or another, you throw him out there, he makes plays. Nate,
Yeah.
you about to get that pink slip in a minute, bro.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what? I know you don't like to make. I know it's early and you went to training camp with an ideal in mind, but you may have to make a change. I'm saying right now, I'm advocating for Jenkins to be back on the right side with Wright, and I know it's still early in the season, but I think them two as a unit on the same side of the field last year, you saw ball. It made difference, and to me, they
Uh-oh.
don't
Y'all
look
still
like
there?
there's no
Everybody
two
still here?
units. Nobody by each other that's working well. He was doing a little stunt, and all of a sudden that middle of that field gonna be wide open because both guys need help in the middle. Both guys are needing help. So all you got to do is just stunt a defensive end and send him through that A gap. He don't have to rush that in. He could just stunt on Donnell Wright and come right up to center. But you got Jay.
yeah, because I was gonna say because Donnell Wright played probably his worst game as a back today. He really struggled big time today. But Bernard, you're talking about the change. It's like, okay, Ryan Bates is on IR right now, so he's gonna miss a maximum of 4 games.
Right.
So it's like, where's the change gonna come? What you gonna do at this point right now? Unfortunately, we're gonna have to ride. We're gonna have to ride with Nate Davis, and it's unfortunate because, like I say, the interior of this offensive line is the weakest link, and as long as Caleb continues to get pushed in his face, he's gonna have a hard time. So, the offensive line didn't do that. They didn't do no. They didn't give us no justice tonight. But like I said, it's game two. We 1-1. I'm not selling it for mediocrity, but when we looked at the schedule, we was like, okay, win first game, lose second game, and then we go from there. So, relax, everybody. Don't panic. We're gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, Jay, I was watching.
Joe Blow. Hold on. I'm sorry, T. Hold on. I don't know who Joe Blow Flow is, but bruh, don't come up in here with that. Don't come up in here with that. Not Bacon time. Really, dude? Come on.
Okay, y'all. You know what? Hey, can I just segue in here for a second, real quick, man? Just found out Tito Jackson just passed.
Oh no!
What does that have to do with football?
Nothing.
It has nothing to do with football, but what it has is we have to trust the process. We have to wake up in the morning, know tomorrow that we're gonna have another day to figure this out. I think people take stuff too seriously about this. Like I said, young team, they're still trying to make things happen. This is the second game of the season. I didn't mean to segue in that, but we all came from that era, and I just saw it. That's why I was making them faces, and I had to fact check it, but it's true.
No, I'll tell you what, guy. Just to round that into what I was going to say before, the main problem, I was watching the offensive line today, and the problem wasn't that they were just physically being overwhelmed. The problem that they had on most of the time was their transitions.
Yep.
From an offensive line standpoint, you got 5 guys that are supposed to be working together as a team. When one is looking at the first area, within his arms, those 6 feet within his arms, and when somebody comes in there, he knows to pass it off to the next guy. Mm-hmm. They had none of that working. So a lot of times you would end up seeing a defensive lineman that came through Davis that got the initial block, and then when it was time to pass him over to Wright, all of a sudden Wright didn't see him, didn't realize he was supposed to get him, and didn't pick up and take the guy. So that's like just like the Jackson 5 or any other band. You get a number of repetitions working together, and you start knowing what to listen to. You start saying, wait a minute, you're a little slow coming off on the drums. You're not coming in on the bass correctly. And once you start hearing that, you start figuring out, the team is off sync a little bit. We just need a little bit more practice. The entire team didn't practice well during the entire preseason. We almost should have anticipated that this was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They may have to look at some of the blocking assignments because when I heard them talking about the blocking assignments in the off season, this is a blocking scheme where they double a lot, right? Where the guard and the tackle may double up on the guy. Okay, but the problem is they're getting pushed, right? And teams, but that's you anticipating teams running a 3-4. They're not running a 3-4. Teams are putting 5 guys in front of your guys. They're making your center take on an assignment as well, and then you just run somebody in whatever gap that is going to be open. But let's move to the grades for the offense so we can talk about the positive on the defense. I'm going to give the offense an F tonight because you only got 13 points. In the NFL game, you got to get at least 17 to be in the conversation of a victory.
Well, I'm not gonna give him an F. I'm gonna give him a D. I'm gonna give him a flat out F. But I'm gonna get an offense. I'm gonna get an offense a D. I'm gonna give an offense a D. And a lot of that's got to do with the play calling. You know, I told y'all that's gonna be huge this year. The play calling is gonna be huge this year. And what I saw in the first 2 games, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed at all.
Okay, well, from an offense, I find it really hard to give them an F as well. They got 1 touchdown, so they finally scored in the red zone. They got 2 field goals, so I'm going to give them a D. But again, no continuity, no identity. It's kind of hard to figure out what grade to give them. You don't know if this is the student that is just not smart enough to get the good grade, or
Right.
You can't figure out even who's in your class yet. So. What you got, guys?
Man, where'd you go to school, man? Come on now, where'd you go to school? You know, with us, it wasn't that, well, there's certain colloquialisms that he came out with, which is necessarily very negligible, but because of those, we look at the diatribe that he has to deal with every day, and we'd have to give him a D. We got this. Nah, you're right. I'm just being silly. I have to give him a D because, you know what, irrelevant as to, you know, we didn't score the points. We didn't really play great at all. But I honestly have to give them a little grace. I give them a D with a minus sign.
The minus sign? Okay. I think I got a minus D somewhere up in here.
Okay.
I was going to give them that one, but that it would be lower. It's lower than a D, so I can't use it. I'm going to save it for another time. Hopefully, I don't have to use it, though.
Hey, y'all like Chicago public schools, everybody passed.
Right.
A curve. Boy, DeAndre, I got a 65. Well, you got a B+.
Right. They say a D- is like 58%.
Right.
Hey, let's move over to defense. I mean, we talking up defense. I mean, what are the positives and negatives of defense that we saw tonight? Plank, you want to start it off?
Yeah, from a defensive standpoint, the negative was in the first half we were actually letting the Texans establish the run, establish the pass. They basically scored on all of their possessions. Second half, we tightened up the defense. I think we may have held them to 2 scores, which were field goals in the second half. So we did a much better job, taking care of our inequities and things like that. But from a defensive standpoint, I'm going to give us a B-. Again, and it's based on 19 points in an NFL game. You should be able to win that. You really should. And It looks like Tammy is out there, and she's already talking about defense and F. That doesn't make any sense. 19 points in an NFL game, you should be able to win that game.
Well, I'm gonna give the defense a B, and the only reason I'm giving them a B and not an A was because that first half they was trying to find themselves in the first half. But that second half, I mean, it's almost like what more can you ask for from a defense in that second half? I mean, what more can you ask for? You know, so they got pressure on the quarterback. You know, oh, excuse me. They got pressure on the quarterback in the second half. They got the sack, not the sack, but the turnover. So they played well. So I would give them a B on defense.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna get defense a B as well. I agree they were moving the ball on the defense, and I was, to my surprise, when it felt like they possessed the ball. And I sent y'all a note saying that it felt like Houston possessed the ball more than the Bears in the first half, but actually Houston possessed the ball in the first half 15 minutes and 4 seconds. The Bears possessed the ball in the first half 14 minutes and 55 seconds. That's only a difference of 10 seconds.
Balance it out.
Yeah. Man, that was the difference we were missing, that half a
Yeah,
second.
you're right. So, but and I guess the penalties also hurt you offensively, right? Because you're possessing it some because you got penalties that making you replay the down. But what I will like to see them do in when Stevenson was having a little hard time. That's a big dude. Big dude. Yeah. You got to be able to run. You got to show your. Hold on, my thing is trying to down. I'm not sure why they didn't drop the linebacker underneath and take that quick slant out. They kept letting that quick slant be wide open, and sometimes you got to bring that linebacker and just bail him into that flat. Versus what they was doing was they kept bringing the linebacker and rushing him. Where sometimes you got to fake that rush, drop it to the flat, and something, man, that's a pick six. And they never did it the whole game. But
the problem there is they believe their press clippings. You talking about Stevenson won Player of the Week last week.
Right.
So you're not expecting the very next game for him to get roasted, kind of like he did today, but.
Because Nico Collins was having his way with Tyrese Stevenson in that first half. In that first half, he was having his way.
That's why I would give him that's why I got to give him a B now minus because of that. Because at the beginning, I'm looking at the rush. I'm like, man, Mixon, he's doing his thing. He got injured, and then when I look at the whole game at the end of it, I look at the stats. He only had 25 yards rushing on 9 carries, even though injuries and stuff, but. There were 3 runs of a 13, 16, and 18, and it seemed like they had way more yards, but they didn't. But I got to give them, but despite Nico Collins getting that 8 for 135 and a tootie, I got to give him a B minus, man, because if it wasn't for them, man, it would have been over quick.
Yeah. Actually, we misread that. Tammy actually was giving offense an F on this, and then she was giving. She's getting the defense a B, not the offense. You know what? We defensively, we still we was just like seconds away from multiple sacks in this game, and like I said, you're not going to run to a lot of quarterbacks that has that type of escapability and to throw on target like that on some plays.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, and so the Bears gonna have to be able to eat this week when they play Richardson. I mean, he's a big guy, but he's not accurate, and they're gonna have to eat and force these turnovers. But this is the week that the offense got to try to get right. Hey, let's get to special teams. I know it's getting late. I don't want to keep you guys up too late because we're approaching midnight. What y'all think about special teams tonight?
They got a couple penalties, holding penalties and whatever, trying to defend, running down on their kickoffs. We got the 2 field goals. The punter actually turned the field a number of times. So
yeah, he did.
I'm gonna get a special teams a C. So I think they were about average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tory Taylor looked like one of them Ziegfeld Folly girls where he's kicking his leg is like all the way up here. He averaged. This dude averaged like his long was like 57 yards. 47.3 yards average kicking. No touchbacks. And that's more important, So with everything that's happened with the special teams and only because of Taylor and Santos, I give them a C. Otherwise, it was like relatively uneventful.
Oh, yeah, I got to give them a C plus because they had Bayless Jones sitting on the sideline.
Oh, We got to find something besides a non-working PlayStation remote. We got to find something for him to do, man.
Well, I'm going to side with the guys. I'm going to give them a seat. I mean, it was just average. I mean, it wasn't. They really had no effect on the game. Like I say, like guys say, Torrey flipped the field a couple of times, but nothing spectacular. So I'm gonna give them a C.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a C too. It was nothing special that I saw out of them. It was average. They did what they had to do. They had a couple of penalties that kind of dropped their grades down. You can't be getting, especially I think I want to say it occurred in the fourth quarter. They had the kickoff where they had the illegal procedure. I think that's what they call it on the kickoff. And so you gave them, if you think about that last field goal they made, you gave them that 5 yards, which actually that last field goal ended up being probably 5 more yards. They would have punted.
Yeah.
They would have punted because I think that field goal was what, about 55
56.
yards. What was it?
Yeah.
56.
56. So 5 more yards. You're talking about a 61. You're probably not going to do it that late in the game. You probably just punt, which takes the difference of the dynamics of the game different on that last drive, right? Because it's possible at that point, I know it's just ifs, you only down by 3 with your last possession versus down by 6, which makes a difference on the plays you're calling because now you're playing at least at a minimum to tie the game. But as far as coaching, y'all got some grades for the coaching?
Yeah, C's all the way around. All the way around the board.
C's all around?
Yeah, all the way around. C's. I ain't going.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then I was gonna say it was average. It was average. Nothing spectacular. I didn't see. I think I was laughing. I stopped to chase y'all because I was laughing. I'm like, okay. Eberflus normally don't call no timeouts or no challenges. Now you challenging plays that don't need to be challenged. Come on, bro.
He ran out of timeouts.
I'm like, come on, brother. Spider-Man's intercept would-be interception. Why you challenge that play, man? Come on. Yeah. The ball completely hit the ground. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so now are you trying to overcoach because people say that you don't call your timeouts or you don't use your challenges? So, but I'm gonna give them a C because the bottom line is, again, this coaching staff keeps the players in the game, and the players play hard for the players play hard for these guys, man. They play hard for them, and so I'll give them a C today because nothing spectacular, and they was in the game. They was in the game, and one possession could have flipped this whole game, and we would have been talking about a 20-19 win. So, yeah, so. Average day.
Well, I'm gonna get the coaches all together about an average of a C. We already talked about Shane Waldron. He gets a D because he never figured out a lot of things on offense as he should have. Also, I would have given Eberflus a D in the first half because Bobby Slowick was eating his lunch. Mm-hmm. He had 17, 18 play drives going, but the second half it was like Eberflus kind of figured it out. And he got back up to him a little bit. So I think the coaching staff was overall average.
Because the Bears gave up the Texans scored, 6 points in the second half?
Yeah.
I'll take that. You go into halftime, you adjust, and to give up 6 points in the second half on the road, that's good. So,
I wouldn't call Houston a great team. I think they're up and coming.
Absolutely.
They haven't figured out a whole lot of things yet. So let's not anoint them the champions no more. Same way that we anointed the Dallas Cowboys champions after getting a $60 million a year quarterback, and they got their lunch taken today.
Yeah, they did.
They lunch always get taken because Ezekiel Elliott is back in Dallas.
Yeah, they did.
Everybody's lunch.
Yeah, they did.
You know what? I might give the only reason why I would give everybody a C, except for the offense, I may give them maybe a C- or even a high D+ is because what I didn't like is when you got an 8-man front sitting up there, and there's like no adjustments. But I'll just go C- just for because it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Who that nation? Who that nation?
Yeah, I'm gonna give overall coaching. Overall coaching. I'm gonna give a C. Like I said, all defense, I still give a B, even for coaching. But overall, I'm gonna give them a C. And I would say the offense is dragging the score down because you do gotta figure out. You gotta be able to stop a team for blitzing. That should be expected. That the team is going to blitz with a rookie quarterback. So you got to find a way to stop them from getting blitzed. If your quarterback is getting hit because he's holding on to the ball or they're doing some stuff he don't recognize, that's one thing.
Right.
I can see for the most part, Caleb knew what they was trying to do. He was pointing it out. He was moving stuff. He was just getting hit because guys just wasn't blocking. So
he was actually calling audibles at the line. I was actually shocked. He was changing plays at the line of scrimmage. I'm like, okay, but Shane Waldron's got to do a better. He's got to do a better job at calling the game, man. Like I used to tell you all the time. You know that Matt Nagy used to throw darts at the wall and see what stick. Come on, bro, you better than this. You better than this, Shane Waldron. I believe in you, but you gotta be better. You just gotta be better.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what? And I'm also, Jay, I just want to go back to this. It's a few times I'm still trying to figure out, is it somebody is messing up their routes? I don't know who it is.
Bernard perplexed. He said,
somebody's messing up their routes. Somebody's messing up their routes. I've seen it the last two games. Right now, I'm going to say, because he's a rookie, I'm going to say Adunze is running his routes wrong.
I'm going to go back and look at it. I'm going to go back and look at it tomorrow.
I may be wrong. I'm going to have to watch it the second time.
Tomorrow. Yep.
I think he's running his routes wrong sometimes because it's too many times that there's two receivers right
in the same area.
And even if it was a high-low route on the side, a high-low route is not going to be that close.
Right.
If you have a low route, that low route going to probably be 3 to 5 yards, and that high route is going to be maybe 10 to 12 yards. It ain't going to be 5 and the other guy 7.
Right.
You're not going to have that. You know, and I ain't saying it's happening through the whole game, but I'm seeing points in the game, and that's what makes me confused about what kind of route concepts are they running, right? Because I'm seeing another receiver in that area, but I know it's going to take a while because he's a rookie, and he may not be him. I don't know. I'm just guessing it might be him.
Well, I'm going to go back and look tomorrow. I'm definitely going to go back and look tomorrow because I said the same thing. I'm like, okay, we got too many people in the same area. There's too many people in the same area. So I'm going to go back and look at that tomorrow when I watch the game again. I'm like, okay.
But and it might be, and it might be just like basketball. You ever notice in basketball, the teams that are like get convoluted sometimes because they're running the right plays, but they don't give the court spacing. You know, it's like that because with this whole thing that Waldron is running, there's always like two receiving routes in tandem that are married together that work like an ink. An ink is like an inside route and a curl. So it's like the separation is big enough to whereas now you're forcing guys to pick their poison and play honest. But if you're going close, then now you're in the Getsy area, 3 doggone slants that are within 2 yards of each other. And one of us could just sit right and just close our eyes and just stick our arms out and just get a tip or interception.
Well, just so you know, his offense is headed for a divorce if they married together because that look garbage.
They're in arbitration right now, though. Yeah, man. It was just one
because
of them
you know what, I'm gonna have to see. Like I said, I'm confused about it because I would like to see them in this situation sometime. I want to see them start running some mesh concepts.
Yeah,
because you could run that little rub route where you kind of like helping create that separation for that other guy. So it looks like it's almost like every man is playing for himself, right? But in football, you sometimes have to help create separation for your other guy. Like I said, that's why you got those concepts like mesh concepts and stuff where you're creating that space for the other guy. And you run those rub routes or you run those hitch and goals or whatever you're going to run. But I don't know. They better do some changes. But this is the week to get right.
Right.
Was it just me, or did y'all see a couple times where they ran a screen? The receivers blocked the guys that they were supposed to, but it almost seemed like the Texans brought like 3 other players off the sideline because I'm like, nobody's touching these dudes. Because when they ran it, I mean, they blew it up immediately because what they did is they showed the replay from the backs of the defense. Now you see the receivers supposed to make their blocks. All of a sudden, these 2 dudes come running through him like, where they come from? It's like, that was crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that a few times, and it was actually the linemen's coming from the line, catching up with the play.
Yeah,
and also I think what I'm seeing with them is they don't know what they want to do with that bunch formation. Yeah, they keep running that like that diamond. They ran it this week and they ran it last week, and right now when they run that diamond, it ain't working because they keep throwing to that. You know, they got that diamond when the one guy in the middle, the 2 over here, and the one guy in the back. And they keep throwing that screen to him, and he's still getting tackled. And there's 3 guys out there.
You know what? They run that diamond like the karate movie dudes, not the guys that fight, but the dudes in the background. That all they do is just do like this. It's like they don't even see. Like, they be in the back. You would think like in the hood, guy get beat down, the rest of them would jump on, but they in the back like they wait to jump into a double dutch. It's like,
that's how one guy beat 75 guys in them karate movies.
Yeah, but 73, 74 of them just sitting in the back doing this, and then when he get beat up, hey, come on in. But these dudes, man, I really know it's a process, and I know people saying I'm making excuses for them, but it's true. It's not like, I mean, and what I was telling you guys, like I wasn't able to get on Friday, but what I was saying too, I said honestly, if you look across the league in week 1. The 49ers offense was the only offense I saw that actually looked pretty doggone good. Everybody else had glitches.
Yeah, guess what? Guess what? Not today, though.
Oh, not today. Hi, Dallas. See, I don't understand that. Why didn't they use your boy Ezekiel right? He could have ate all the New Orleans Saints, and they probably would have won 19-6 or something.
Yeah, but okay, guys.
Okay.
We got Indianapolis next week. You know, they lost today, so we're going into Indianapolis. We're going into Indianapolis 1-1. So you know, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Okay.
We're gonna be all right.
Hey, thank everybody who tuned in to Bears Banter tonight. Hey, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and share this podcast with your Bears fans. And until next time, peace.
Peace.